Coming up on News Live at 6, SU hosted its first ever NIL Summit, how they're bringing student athletes to new opportunities.
Plus, student celebrations, how students and parents are finding their place in Syracuse University's Newhouse School.
And candidates in various elections across Syracuse came to campus. News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Some big changes coming to SU athletics after hosting its first ever NIL Summit. Good evening and welcome into News Live at 6. I'm Mike Lamorte.
And I'm Jake Morrell. Our Benjamin Lefkowitz has the latest on what SU hopes is the first of many.
Thanks, guys. It all went down earlier today at the Fall College. Student athletes were able to connect with industry professionals, hear how things panned out. Earlier today, the Syracuse Sports Group held the Name, Image, and Likeness Summit for student athletes at Fall College. After hosting the Syracuse Sports Business Conference in September, the Syracuse Sports Group came together with the idea of hosting an inaugural NIL Summit. With the help of Falk Associate Professor who specializes in NIL, Dave Maloney, the process for the summit was underway.
But I'm also working with athletics through my NIL course. We're working with student athletes. I'm working with coaches. I would love to be the first institution in the country to have an NIL summit that is managed and put on by students for their peer student athletes.
Participants heard from Syracuse Athletic Director John Wildhack, attended panels hosted by professionals in the sports industry and NIL, and student athletes got the chance to attend a financial literacy panel hosted by JP Morgan. Athletes also participated in on-site brand activations with J-Lab Audio and W by Jake Paul. Rachel Mang Brown, the founder and CEO of Gen Agency and Gen NIL, spoke at today's event and was impressed with how the Syracuse Sports Group presented the summit.
On an event that is really pivotal in this time of NIL that's really, tumultuous and confusing, I think it's a really big deal.
President of the Syracuse Sports Group, Nathan Gross, is thankful for the experience.
Able to build this out back in November, put together all the concepts for this event, and it's really just been a grind since then through breaks. Getting our full team of 20 students involved, putting on this event. It's been a great process, a lot of learning experience.
SU has high hopes for similar events in the future. Reporting in studio, I'm Benjamin Lefkowitz.
Thank you there, Ben. Today, Syracuse University's SI Newhouse School of Public Communications is welcoming the next generation of storytellers.
Our Sophia Braun is here to give us an inside look on what Admitted Students Day has to offer for prospective students and their families.
Thanks, guys. Admitted Students Day welcomes incoming college students with the opportunity to picture themselves as a member of the Newhouse community. The day is full of welcoming events at home colleges for each student's major. Just hours ago, the lobby of Newhouse 1 was packed with admitted students and their families. Today's festivities marked the start of a series of Admitted Students Day events, which aim to celebrate accepted applicants as they prepare to lock in their college decisions.
So we are investing in the student, and we know the student. We're excited about these students, and we're hoping that the parents can feel kind of at ease that they know that we're going to take care of their student.
The theme of the day is celebrating incoming students and their families. And parents are one of the target demographics of the weekend. The Newhouse team is prepared to answer questions and provide reassurance for anyone who will soon send their child off to college.
I can empathize with everything you are feeling here today, both parents and students. I can totally understand the stress and everything you go through to get to this point.
Every student's journey to finding their major is unique. One incoming student and her mother were inspired to apply to Newhouse after hearing a speech given by CNN anchor Boris Sanchez at SU.
So I started watching more CNN, more ABC, all the big news sources and outlets, and I was like, I can kind of see myself behind the camera.
The theme of celebration is just beginning here on campus. Many students and their families are excited to engage with everything that Newhouse has to offer as the countdown to move-in day begins. In addition to today's event, the Newhouse Newhouse admissions team is traveling across the U.S. to share celebrations with admitted students who are unable to make it to campus for a visit before the fall semester starts. Reporting in studio, I'm Sophia Braun.
All right, thank you there, Sophia. Well, Jake, I mean, the weather, it's been kind of on and off lately. How about that?
On and off. It's warming up a little bit. I feel like today I thought it was going to be colder because I kind of got used to it throughout the week, and then I walked outside. It was 50s earlier today. That's not bad. We're heading in the right direction, Mike.
I think that's exactly what it is. Heading in the right direction. Still cloudy in the skies, but that temperature is warming up. Our Sigourney Bell has that full forecast for you.
Hey Jake, hey Mike, thank you guys. You guys kind of talked a little bit about what I was going to talk about, stealing a little bit of my segment there. But we were talking about admitted students, and this is what Syracuse new students have to expect. I mean, it's a cloudy day, but it's a little bit confusing because it's still kind of cold, but it's also 53 degrees outside, which means it's still kind of warm. You know, that's kind of just how it is at Syracuse, so that's what you can look forward to. And speaking of what you can look forward to, later on tonight, it's going to start raining. It's going to drop to 48 degrees outside, and the rain's going to start at 8 p.m. The sun is going to set at 7 o'clock, but it's going to be pretty cloudy, so I don't know if we're going to get a good sunset tonight. And then looking at our temperatures across the board, everyone's experiencing pretty much the same thing, 55-degree temperatures, 53 in Syracuse, like I mentioned, and 50 in Fulton, and a low of 48 in Rome. Now, these are kind of warm temperatures, but I still think that it's pretty cold. Maybe it's because I'm from a warmer state, but that's what we got going around in the Syracuse, Central New York area. I'll throw it back to you guys.
Sigourney, I don't know if I'm looking forward to that rain, but hopefully we'll see some warmer temperatures coming up here soon. Well, keeping it on campus, last night the annual Student Association Executive Debate took place. The event, which was broadcasted right here on CitrusTV, let candidates voice their promises to students. But for a second straight year, the number of students running was lacking. Our Alex Burstein reports.
Usually on debate stages like this one at the Syracuse University Veterans Center, there's candidates going back and forth and sparring words. But at the SU ESF 2025 Student Association Executive Debate, there was just two uncontested races. Despite that, the candidates had a lot to say. A debate.
We fully agree and we understand as a student and as a leader students at this campus that some of the most important movement in history have started in college campuses.
With no competition.
We came into this year and we weren't expecting what we had, and we couldn't put the blame on anybody, and we just had the opportunity to move forward and fix the challenges that we faced.
This is my second time in a row running unopposed. The second time in a row Student Association has unopposed elections, and again, as I said in stage a little bit ago, this doesn't represent the democratic values this organization have.
At the KG Tan Auditorium Thursday night, candidates offered both promises and improvements. President Herman Olivos and Comptroller Alexis Leach are both running for re-election.
Sitting here today, it was a great opportunity to tell our community what we are here to accomplish.
The only new face is VP candidate Janice Faison, who currently serves as Student Executive VP of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Amidst national moves to end DEI, Faison is even more engaged.
Honestly, I see Syracuse continuing the way it's gone, not only because of Student Association being just kind of really embedded in our values, but also because of Syracuse University.
Alex Burstein, CitrusTV News.
Thank you there for your reporting, Alex. Well, last night the Syracuse College Democrats hosted a mayoral candidate forum between two Democratic candidates outlining their plans for the future of Syracuse. Our Sunny Suaya joins us live now in studio with what they're promising to locals.
That's right, Mike. Deputy Mayor Sharon Owens and Common Councilor Pat Hogan took to the stage to answer questions. While all 6 of the Democratic candidates were invited, only Owens and Hogan were in attendance. Here's more on how these two campaigns plan to tackle issues affecting Syracuse. Inside the walls of Syracuse University's Hall of Languages, students sat down to hear from 2 of the city's mayoral candidates. Deputy Mayor Sharon Owens and Syracuse Common Councilor Pat Hogan touched on a number of topics from education,
We got great programs. We got to get the kids in school.
to city economy,
Economy here in Syracuse, especially at Micron, and
housing,
8% of property owners in our city bear the burden of 100% of the properties.
and more. When it came to safety concerns for the city, the two disagreed. Their difference in opinion was on what to do about residency for the police department. Currently, graduates of the Syracuse Police Academy must live within the city for 5 years after being hired.
Continuing the conversation around residency, I really believe that it is value added to our recruits. And after 5 years, if you choose to move, then that is an option for you.
For the first 5 years, you have to live in the city of Syracuse. I know that affects recruitment. We have to do something as far as getting our staffing up to level. Anything is put in the way of that, we just have to get rid of.
However, Hogan and Owens have worked closely in the past and do share similar beliefs. So what unique advantages do they bring to the table?
Well, I have more experience than anybody, and I've been through times like this.
I am a woman. None of my opponents are women. I am African American and female. I bring a perspective that is unique.
For CitrusTV News, I'm Sunny Swaya.
Thanks, Sonny. We turn now to new details as the city of Syracuse has ordered for the demolition of the St. Anthony's Convent building at the former Maria Regina College. This comes after the building sustained damage in a fire last Friday. The building now presents an imminent danger to public health and emergency personnel. The city plans to turn the property into affordable senior housing.
And a Syracuse man is in custody after making threats to the Liverpool Central School District. Authorities say 21-year-old Tajay Perry is facing 7 felony charges. Those are in connection to several phone calls in which officers say Perry threatened to commit a school shooting. He is currently being held at the Onondaga County Jail.
And still ahead on News Live at 6, Vice President J.D. Vance spending his day in Greenland. Find out why he's saying the country is a necessity for the U.S.
And a major earthquake hits South Asia, leaving over 100 people dead. We'll have the details. Stay with us.
Rolling.
Sound is speeding.
Can you slow that down, please? This is
28-1.
You're watching Citrus TV News, live at 6 with Jake Morrell, Mike Lamorte, and Sigourney Bell. And now, your campus news leader continues.
We need Greenland, very importantly, for international security. We have to have Greenland. It's not a question of, do you think we can do without it? We can't.
While President Trump was in the Oval Office today saying that Greenland is a national security necessity. Vice President J.D. Vance and Second Lady Usha Vance traveled to the Danish territory. Vance visited U.S. military base and said Denmark was under-investing. He also said that China and Russia are taking a greater interest in the Arctic than Europe.
Vance says he thinks Greenland will eventually break away from Denmark and side with the United States. He says there will be a, quote, desire for U.S. control because they are, quote, rational and good. Danish and Greenland officials have rejected this idea and repeatedly stated that Greenland is not currently for sale.
Now to the latest. A 7.7 magnitude earthquake hit central Myanmar this morning. The earthquake has killed more than 150 people and has left over 700 injured. The rest of South Asia was affected as 81 construction workers are missing after an unfinished high-rise collapsed in Thailand.
Myanmar's military junta has declared a state of emergency in 6 regions. The Red Cross is struggling to reach the hardest hit areas due to downed power lines. The total amount of deaths from the earthquake are expected to rise.
And after the break, I'll have your 5-day forecast, plus I do a little research. I know you're interested, so stick around.
Welcome to Live from Studio B.
Welcome to another episode of Culturally and Technically Legal.
Previously on Survivor.
Welcome back to the Esports Juice Box, where we break down this week's esports news into digestible sizes for easy consumption.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to Live at 6. I've got your amazing 5-day forecast for all the rain lovers, because on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, that's all you're getting is rain, rain, and more rain. Now, we're going to get a high of 69 degrees on Monday, so that's something to look forward to. And then on Tuesday, we're going to have the sun peeking through a little bit. And then Wednesday, it's going to be a little bit cloudy. But like I said, if you love rain, I mean, this is a chance for you. Now, I know you guys are wondering about what research I was doing. Now, earlier today, I went to the Source Syracuse Research Center, where I saw all the research that Syracuse students were doing, and I was like, I want to do some research, but on the anchors, and see what pops up when you look them up online. Now, if you look up Michael Lamorte, you're not getting our Michael Lamorte, you're getting the real estate agent Michael Lamorte. Michael, you look a little bit different here. You're bald, and you have a beard, so I'd love to buy a house from this Michael Lamorte. I don't know if I'd buy it from our anchor Michael Lamorte, just saying that. But when you look up Jake Morrell, you do get the real Jake Morrell, and I looked the picture down here where you can see Jake Morrell on his Juice and Java days. I mean, that's really fun, and he looks really tiny too. But Michael, don't feel bad that when you look up your actual self that you don't see your real self, because my other version of me is actually out here curing cancer. She was on the Forbes list, which is good for her. So that's the research that I've been doing. That's all the time I have for you right now. I'll have your wake up weather, but I'll send it back to the desk.
There's plenty of Michael Lamortes, let me just say, but there's only one Mike Lamorte.
There you go. There's only one Michael Lamorte. I was totally not expecting that research. I was
stunned.
I'm a little taken aback on air right now.
I just ChatGPT'd myself. Anyways, the annual SU Senior Fashion Show took place yesterday, showcasing the talents of 13 graduating designers.
Our Lily O'Shaughnessy got an inside look at one of the featured designers, and she's here in studio with us. Lily?
That's right. Fashions met the future last night at SU's annual Senior Fashion Show, highlighting rising talent ready to make their mark on the industry. One special designer is turning heads for her collection, inspired by her love of the ocean.
Runway lights shine as models show months of work. Among the standout designers is Chloe Meacham.
That I wanted to do something based off of like deep sea life forms, but it kind of evolved more from like the shapes of those forms into like the way that they move. I still have like some literal references, like I have one piece that kind of looks like it has tentacles, but it's more about the way that it moves, like imitating the way things move underwater.
Chloe's connection stood out with bold style and ocean-inspired fabrics. Her favorite piece came naturally. She wanted it to create a real tactile connection to the sea.
My favorite piece, I kind of made it on a whim, and it was honestly like the easiest thing I made. I draped it in muslin, and then I don't even think I made like a pattern on paper for it. I just went straight into fabric, and I just kind of like went with it, and it took me like a weekend to make.
Creativity took center stage at the show, and Chloe was proud to be a part of it. She hopes to land a job with a major fashion brand after college, but in the meantime, she's keeping busy with several commissions already on her plate as graduation approaches. For Citrus TV News, I'm Lily O'Shaughnessy.
It wasn't very fashionable for Syracuse basketball to keep Brett Autry, but he's back and he needs a new team. He's got some new players. Find out who one of them is on the other side with sports.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Syracuse basketball fans, there's no need to fear. William Kyle is here. Welcome into sports. I'm Ian Nicholas. If you don't know who the former UCLA big man is, I don't blame you. Syracuse added him in the transfer portal last night. Here's what you need to know about the Orange's first offseason addition. He only averaged 3 points a game last year in Westwood, but he averaged a 70% field goal rate, one of the top in the country. He's a good finisher at the hoop. He also had one of the best block rates in the country. And when you consider that Syracuse lost both Eddie Lampkin and Naheem McLeod to graduation, Syracuse needs some reinforcements down low, even with Donnie Freeman returning. And Kyle, just 2 years ago with the Jackrabbits, was named Summit League Defensive Player of the Year. There's certainly some upside there. Now, going from the hardwood to the field, Syracuse men's lacrosse on the road against Virginia in its ACC opener, and that is tomorrow. Virginia is out of our rankings entirely after starting the year in the top 10, The Cuse, they have actually crept their way back up the national rankings. They started the year number 2, then they dropped out of the top 10 entirely, and now they find themselves at 8. They've won 4 games in a row. As you can see on their screen, they just took down a top 20 Colgate team at home last weekend. And while UVA might not be in the top 20, they do know how to keep things close. This is a blue blood program led by a Central New Yorker and Lars Tiffany in the all-time series, as you can see in the bottom right of your screen, tied at 21 games apiece. Remember that game in the Dome last year, 18-17 in April? That was awesome. Let's hope it's this awesome this time around. It's on the road, though, so make sure to follow our @Dan_Shalom on Twitter for live updates. Going from the men's side to the women's side, Syracuse, top 10 team in the country, just like the guys, and they aim for another win at home tomorrow against, you guessed it, UVA, who's 11th on the women's side of things. So the women's team a little stronger than the men's team for the Cavaliers. Syracuse up and down on this season. They're back home after picking up a big road win against Loyola. You can follow our Milo Hoffman at m-hoff-nyc for all the coverage on Twitter. Let's go from Central New York down to Queens, where Juan Soto made his highly anticipated Mets debut last night, but we'll get to him in just a moment. We got Francisco Lindor late in this game. His Mets down multiple runs. He's going to pop this pupper up in the air with the bases loaded and 1 out. That's going to drive in the first run of the game for New York. A little bit of a rally, and if you think Lindor's batting first, who's batting second? It's going to be Soto. Game on the line. $765 million man comes up short. The Astros held on for the opening day dub, 3-1. Good news for Soto in New York, a chance of redemption tonight. Back in Houston, Minute Maid Park. I still think it should be called Minute Maid Park, to be completely honest. But anyways, Soto getting paid a lot of money. Guys, he's a big storyline, but another one too. Syracuse football, they want to play Colorado next month. They're not doing that. No more spring game between Fran Brown and Deion Sanders. That is officially not happening, according to the NCAA.
I think that would rock if it could happen. I mean, I grew up watching Hard Knocks on HBO, and you had these practices between NFL teams. You had DeAndre Hopkins looking at guys saying, "I fear God, homie." We need that in college football. Wow. That was awesome. Yeah. I think that would be so fun.
Yeah, I mean, just the interaction between Prime and Coach Fran Brown, the brotherly love that they had and how they wanted to join the programs together. Yeah. I don't understand why the NIL would just squash that right then and there. Do we have any word of why?
One of the reasons because this broke just a few minutes ago, one of the reasons I heard from the NCAA, they don't want athletes missing school time. And I'm sorry, I get it. But really, I mean, that's the excuse for pulling out here.
They typically enforce that a lot, don't they?
So stringent.
I guess my one concern would be to see if really big programs started going at it. Maybe Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Day, but we know the SEC doesn't want any of that Big Ten smoke. What we also know is that you want to stick around for our wake-up weather on the other side. We'll see you then.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Women are bad with money.
It's what the world's been saying for centuries. But now,
we've got something to say.
Save it. Save the old-fashioned advice, the empty excuses. It's all worthless, unlike us.
To our fellow females, it is time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Contributing to our futures, investing in our independence.
Until we're no longer 80%
more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So again, we say to that, save it.
The falsehoods, the feelings of fault, then the funds.
Learn how to save for your retirement at wesaysaveit.org.
Welcome back to Live at 6. I have your wake up weather. So when you wake up on Saturday morning, about 9:30, you can expect 44 degrees outside and lots of rain. It's going to start at 6:45 a.m. and it's going to be raining for the rest of the day. And like I said with our 5-day forecast, that's pretty much what you can expect for this whole week. That's all I have. I'll send it back to the desk.
Well, that's Citrus TV News Live at 6 for this Friday afternoon.
Don't forget, you can follow us on X and Instagram at Citrus TV News. Now, for the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Jake Morrell.
And I'm Mike Lamorte. Have a great night, Syracuse.